Good afternoon and welcome to today's class. Once a happy new month again. Uh, we leave after we've seen for a while, so we can as well continue. So today's class is going to be basically about revision. Then we ask ourselves some quick questions as regards what to really understand as regards SAP, ERP, and S/4HANA. So those are the things we would want to do in this particular session, right? And moving straight to another session, we'll talk more when it comes to that aspect. So this class is going to be more of an interactive class. Then I will do more of writing. So we would also be conscious of what we're trying to do because we might not be seeing the real object yet. I mean, the real app yet, but we will try as much as possible to picture or demonstrate or even show you how it works, right? So, but it's important for us to know some other theoretical aspects of the whole process, right? So, and that's what we'll be doing more today. Um, During the last class, we were able to explain to ourselves what ERP means, what SAP means, what S/4HANA means, right? So I'm still going to do that myself, right? Explain that, right? But I'm not going to just spend more time when it comes to that particular explanation. But I want to
Okay.
explain what it means better, how and why do companies really need it? And these are things I believe we discussed during our last class, our last session. But it's not a bad thing to discuss these things again here. So the question now is going to be, what is ERP? I'm sure you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so what is ERP? I'm asking you, what's the full meaning of ERP? So ERP is enterprise. Complete it.
Resource planning.
Yeah, makes sense. So that's the full meaning of ERP. So once we understand this, right? So the question is not going to be, why do companies really need this, right? Why do they need this? So ERP basically is a system, right, that helps company runs all its departments using one shared system and one shared database. It's a system. A system is like combination of so many applications, right? Integrated together into one app, right? That helps all companies to run their departments using one shared server or one shared system and one shared database. So the key word here is one shared system, right? And one shared database. So what it means is all the departments are integrated into one system, right? So I think I've given numerous examples. I used to work as a supplier for a multinational company, right? And there was this time I was looking for fund. So the project was about 30 or 40 million to raise just for me to supply them. So I was giving LPO, right? I was giving LPO, so it was legit. I knew I'm going to source for fund, and sourcing for fund is going to be easier for me. So, however, I went to meet some guys, right? And at my back, because they've got a friend in another department that is quite different from the department I got the job, and it's quite different from department that deals with supplies. They call it supply chain, right? But because he has gotten a friend in another department, the friend was able to track my LPO just to confirm if it is legit or not, right? So
Oh.
that is the essence of the ERP. So I'm just trying to tell you why ERP is important. They've been able to integrate all their activities into one system. So which means if you are in, for example, maybe if you are in another department, maybe HR department, that is quite different from a department that works with supply chains, right? You'll be able to access it. However, you might not be able to access everything or do things, but you'll be able to confirm some receipts, confirm some numbers, confirm so many other things, right? You might not be able to create, you might not be able to delete, you might not be able to do some other crude, we call it crude, CRUD operations. Create, read. Read means you want to read, see what is there. U there is update, that's edit. Then the D there is delete, right? You might not be able to do that. The only thing you'll be able to do there is to read, right? Reading there it means just to confirm if this thing is there or not, right? So you might be able to just read through. Every other thing might be deactivated for you because it's not your department. Do you
Oh,
understand? Yeah. So every other thing might be there, might be deactivated because it's not your department. So those are things that ERP really worked for us. So you now see ERP is not, it's just like a big word, but the simple meaning of ERP is even in the house, you might be performing an ERP system even in the house. If we have been able to integrate all the activity of the house into one system where you shared a particular system or you share the whole database. So I know that everything my wife does, I can really access it in a system. And everything I do, my wife can also access it in a system. So that means we've been able to implement an ERP solution in the house. So that is the simplest meaning of ERP I can give. And like I said, before ERP, we have Excel, MS Excel, right? MS Excel has been helpful and is still helping. But when it comes to big data, when I mean big data, data that is moving close to say 500,000, 1 million, 1 trillion, right? Excel cannot handle. Excel can only handle data that if it is beyond 100,000 to start lagging. Of course, on the system, we can say theoretically, Excel can only handle 1 million rows, 1,048,000 rows in terms of rows, numbers, and like 28,000 columns. Can you see it is limited?
oh,
Right? It is limited. So Excel can only do that. But if your data is now going beyond 100,000, 200,000, we do advise people to change from Excel to another app because it keeps lagging, it will start lagging, it will start crashing, and you either lose data or perhaps slow down your work, or so many other things might happen, right? So it shows you are becoming bigger. So hence, you need an ERP solutions to help you do your things, right?
oh,
And yeah, in the olden days, right, we have Excel to store your data, to know what is happening. The finance department uses finance app, for example, maybe Sage. We have different finance app that will help them do their finance, do their trial balance, do their balance sheet, do their what else again do they do? Balance sheet, trial balance, profit and loss account, all those things, salary, there is another app that will do that for them. Then the store also might also be using Excel. Store department might also be using Excel. And many a time they use manual configuration. Many a time they use manual configuration before the advent of ERP. So I'm just trying to tell you that ERP has really made things easier. And I'm saying this using um, what you are used to. So if you want to explain what it means, you understand what you want to explain, and you can use your word to explain that very well for people to understand. So like I said, for ERP, it is one what? One system, right? You have one shared system. We have one
one
shared
database.
database, right? So all
Oh,
the departments see the same data in real time. So
oh,
those in sales department, once they make a sales and they confirm the sales, it's immediately the finance department sees it, right?
oh,
Immediately those in procurement sees it that, oh, one of our product has reduced. Oh, we already have a low stock, so we need to go procure more product if it is product based, right? If it is service based, once a sales is being initiated or someone requested for our services, guys in the appropriate department get informed, right? They get notified immediately, and everybody swift to work immediately. And once the client pays, the finance department sees it immediately, right? Finance department sees this immediately. So the question now is, why do we need ERP? We've seen the reasons why we need ERP, right? And we've seen why ERP is very, very important. So every other thing we'll be talking about is going to be based off what? ERP. Please take note. Everything we'll be talking about today, even in the entire course, is going to be based on what? ERP.
Yeah.
Aha. So the next thing you want to ask me is, then what is now SAP? Right? What is SAP? Right? SAP is now a company that develops ERP. Are you following me?
Yes.
SAP is now a company that develops ERP.
ERP.
We did this during the last class, but I think this is more detailed, right? So, like I said, I think I was giving you this history about SAP. I think they are based in Germany. The SAP company
Okay.
is based in Germany. They are based in Germany. And they've evolved over time, right? Don't forget, we explained what ERP means. So, which means in your house, you can also implement an ERP system. So, immediately you
Mm-hmm.
got to a company that has an ERP system going on, you already know.
Mm.
Aha, without anybody telling you. You already know, oh, there is an ERP system here. So the next question is not going to be which type. Are you using SAP, or do you have an in-house developer that developed an ERP system for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So personally, like I said, I'm a developer. I also have an ERP system for a certain company, for guys in the management. So if you are doing if you are doing sales, guys in the sales department, sales product, maybe you are selling something, or you are doing service-based product or service-based you need to have an ERP system that does your sales, your products, every other thing that we'll be discussing, right? So instead of using SAP, we have an ERP. So like I said earlier, the question is not going to be, are you using SAP, or you have an in-house developer, or you outsource that particular ERP system to a company that does that for you? So SAP is now a company, just like Nakel Green, just like your company, right? So if your company now develops an ERP, so we can now start talking about it. So see SAP as a company that develops what? ERP software. Right? So the ERP software helps companies.
I don't like that. I mean, Nicholas, so. Class, or you.
Helps companies. Can you hear me? The ERP
Yes, I can hear
system,
you.
the ERP system helps companies to sales, manage sales, purchases, right? Help them to do their finances. Remember, we did all this thing. HR, that's human resource,
Mhm.
manufacturing. I'm trying to explain this in detail just for you to understand, so you'll be able to explain to anybody in your own words. Logistics. I'm sure all these things I put down are things that you do on a daily basis. Yes or yes?
Mhm. Yes.
So now imagine you now have a solution, a software that help you manage all these things. So which means if those in the sales department input a data, guys in the purchasing department already sees that, right? To develop and create perhaps invoice, right? Or see the number of stocks that are remaining. So if they warrant in restocking, they can easily go ahead to purchase more products, right? Guys in the finance department sees and know how much that comes in, knows the profit and loss, knows if a particular product is making profit or not, and can easily advise the company on whether to employ more or buy more or do so many other things. And the data they'll be using is going to be from what? The sales department. Well, are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
Aha. But the ones in the finance department, they don't know the product you are selling. No. They don't want to know where you are buying it. It's only guys in purchase department that knows where to get those products. And they don't care and they don't want to know how you are selling it. It's only guys in the sales department that knows how to sell it and who they are selling to. Are you getting what I'm saying? HR
Yes.
department also sees the performance of those in finances, those in manufacturing, those in logistics, those in sales, just to know their performance, right? So they can easily appraise staff's performance and
Mm.
recommend things based on what they see on the app. And we can easily use this HR management system to also develop things like leave. So you can't tell me you got a leave last week and you're coming again this week to tell me, I want to go for another leave. You have a record. We can easily see it together. And people can even probe you. Why is HR giving so person preferential treatment? Because we've seen that last week the guy collected 3 days. This week he's collecting another 2 days. And last week I also went to the HR. He said no. This week he said no. These are things that we can easily see and make things perfect and better, right? So guys in the manufacturing department, if it is a company that is production based, right? So we have guys in the manufacturing department, they know what to manufacture, what they need, they can easily, everybody has who to report to, and logistics. I'm sure you are not new to the logistics aspect of this particular thing. So you already understand what ERP means. You understand what
Mm.
SAP means. SAP is a company that does develop
Develop
ERP system to help
also.
manage sales, purchases, finances, HR, manufacturing, and logistics, right? So an SAP is used by so many people. For example, companies that uses it, we've got banks, telecoms company, telecoms, oil and gas, right? Government agencies, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then maybe large retail store. Yes, yes, large retail stores. That was why I was giving an example of Walmart. Remember? I think I give an example of Walmart. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, SAP is not just a software. Is a business management tools, right? So the business management system. So basically, they built a solution that does manage your business. So what SAP does is they built a solution. SAP build a solution that manages your business. Shikena, right? So, like I said, everything still goes in line with this. So the next question is not going to be what is S4 and S4 HANA. S4 HANA. So what is S4 HANA? So S4 HANA is the latest generation or the latest software. Let me use that word. The latest software of SAP ERP. Can you explain this for me?
It's the latest software of SAP-ERP. That means that's the software that SAP as a company built for ERP. I mean, that's it. S for HANA is the software that ERP uses. But SAP is a company that builds it, that develops it.
Yeah, makes sense. So, which means S/4HANA is the latest software, right, of SAP. Don't forget, we said SAP built what? An ERP solution. So, the latest ERP solution they built is called what? S/4HANA.
For HANA.
Are we together?
Mm. Yes.
Yeah. And why is it designed like that? I don't want to go through the history. I think our last class we did the history. We have the R1.
So we didn't do it. We did do it. No.
Yeah, I did the history as regards the first generation, the second
Okay, yes.
generation, the
But
third
you didn't mention
generation.
sorry, you mentioned the full meaning of HANA later. Like
Yeah,
what H stands for, what A stands for, what N stands for,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
K.
yeah. So, like I said, this is the fourth generation. This is the
Mm-hmm.
fourth. This S/4HANA is called the fourth generation. So, what's the full meaning, right? The full meaning, I think, during the last class, the S here, the S there stands for SAP.
Mm-hmm.
The four there stands for what? The
Fourth
fourth
generation.
fourth generation. I think we discussed it, have we?
We discussed it, but we didn't. And we discussed it to that. Then we didn't. But we didn't discuss the
Okay.
HANA
The
itself.
ANA, okay. The ANA itself is called high performance. High performance in memory database. So the ANA there is the database, right? But it is for high performance in memory database.
So why did they come across the acronyms and
What
Kojora
did you
now?
say?
Money Kojora, why did they come across the HANA? So why the
The
HANA
H
then?
there is for I. The
Mm-hmm.
H there is for I, right? So
Mm.
the ANA here, basically, think
Mm.
is from the database. High performance. So what it means basically is because of its performance, its speed, right? It is
Mm.
because of its speed, because one thing about S/4HANA, right, is compared to every other thing, every other software they've built, is what? Is speed. That's what they sell. Speed, the real-time information. Like I said during the last class, all other generation uses Oracle for database.
Mm.
So which means if I'm going to build whatever thing I'm building with an external database. So there might be lag in getting some data, right?
Mm.
But right now, the database is not inbuilt with the software. So we are not going to any external database again. And that's why the speed is high, very high. We have an real-time information.
Mm.
I said real-time, I'm writing real information. We've got real-time information and we have better user experience, which we are going to see later. Better user experience, that's UX. We've got the UX and UI. Yeah, very good, right? Compared to other ones are slow relatively to what we have here. It's not as if they are slow, but just relative to what we have here, they are slow. Some are very complex, right? Very complex. So, which I think is very, very important for us to like see and know what's up as regard all these things. So, we've been able to understand the definition of um, all these three things, and I've been able to explain them in a more better way. right? So the next is let's learn business processes, right? Let's learn why all these things work, right? Why do they work? So, so for example, we can easily say, why do companies move to SA4HANA? They can ask you, why do they want to move to S4HANA? Oh, yeah, please answer now.
Because of high speed and performance.
Yeah, high speed and performance.
And
Yeah,
also the real-time information.
we've got a real-time information, which can easily help in financial reporting because most times that is what is particular to most companies. This helps in what? Financial reporting.
Oh.
Very key. It helps in financial reporting and it helps in sales tracking. These are the major things. Because your data is real time, everybody can track the sales, right? Everybody can track the sales because this is what it works. It works out, right? And yes, so since we are done with this, so this can lead us to what we call SAP modules. You remember what are the SAP modules that we have? We
Have
have
we discussed that? SD. Okay, FD. We have the sorry, is it CO? MM? Am I right? Yes. CO, FI, yes, I remember.
which one again?
Production. No, that's PP, yes.
Which one?
Mo ṣe
I
mọ̀
think
wí
we
díẹ̀, mi ò rántí.
HCM, I think that's HR. Aha.
Okay,
So what's
yes.
the full meaning of SD?
SD, sales
Sales,
and distribution.
sales what?
Sales and distribution.
Aha, makes sense. What's MM?
Material management.
Material
Right?
management. That is for procurement, right?
Yes.
Aha. What's FI?
That's the financial.
Yeah, that's for accounting. Yeah, accounting and payments. Aha.
Mhm.
I'm just giving the raw summary. Aha. What's PP?
PP.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
CO.
what's CO? Sorry, there is CO.
CO, is that client? That's client base or something, if
That's
I
what? CO
remember.
is what?
The customer base, the
Eh?
client, I
Remember.
miss that. Hold on.
Do you remember?
No.
You don't remember audit. That I said we can audit. We can also audit an internal auditor.
Internal auditor, yes. I mentioned, yes, internal auditor.
Uh-huh.
The control, that's the control side, internal
Yeah.
auditor.
Yeah. So what's PP?
This one is production planning, right?
Ah, yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. So that's for manufacturing, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So what is ACM?
Human resource.
I think we need to stop the class here. We can go for the exam. So that is just it, basically. And that leads us to the SAP modules, right? And these are different departments that we expect in a company. Or they can give it another name, but they won't go beyond all these things, right? All these
Mm,
great meaning that we've given it, right? So let's quickly talk about the business process, the business processes. Well, how does SAP work? How does SAP work?
mm.
Right. So should I remove this or I should leave it?
I can leave. Let me take a screenshot.
Okay.
Okay. So you can move on.
So we want to talk about the SAP business processes. All these things are very important, right? To know very well when it comes to SAP. So SAP works based on these business processes. So which I'm going to explain right now. So for example, let me cite an example. Let me give you an example. And that is how it works. And which we are going to talk about the process order. So the customer walks into your company and wants to buy a
Mhm.
product. I think we discussed that particular example that last class. Wants to buy a product, right? So the first thing that happens is what? We create a sales order,
Mm.
right? We create what? The sales creates the
Sales
order.
order.
So sales, let me put it that way. Sales creates an order. Yes or yes? Abby? Once the sales creates an order, store, store checks for the stock. Yes or yes? To confirm
Yes.
if we have this thing. This thing happens a whole lot in pharmacy store. If you go to a pharmacy store and you ask, I don't know how it works in Canada, but I know in Nigeria, which you've have an ample experience. If you go to a pharmacy store and you want to get a drug based on description of the or prescription of the doctor, and you get to the pharmacy, you got the pharmacist and you give the pharmacy that card, that prescription paper or card. The first thing it goes to check is create an order. Then after the order, it wants to check if we have that thing. That's the next thing they normally do. They will go and
Yes.
check if they have that particular drug, that particular type of drug you are looking for, right? After that, it comes back and tells you the price. So we have,
Mm.
after the sales, create the order, the store checks for the stock if it's available, then the finance records revenue, right?
Yes.
So these are the three major things that happens. And all these things happens at once, right? They are happening systematically and they are happening at once, right? And these things are happening in one system, one database, right? So if I'm going to talk more about this, right? So if I'm going to create that flow chart, so the flow chart is just going to be the customer order, right? After the customer order, I'll just do customer order, right? I've got delivery, I've got invoice, and I've got payment. That's the flow chart. So these invoice payments. You create the order, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, right?
Yes.
Aha.
Delivery invoice
Okay, so
payment.
let's
Yes.
quickly do, yeah. So let's quickly do a bit of practical. I want to ask you a question, right? So a customer wants to buy a phone, assuming you want to go to Computer Village to get a phone. I'm sure you know Computer Village very well. So you want to get a phone in Computer Village, right? And you've got 200,000 naira. So that is the worth of phone you want to buy, Computer Village. So it's more than that, you're not buying. So you've got 200,000 naira on you. I'm trying to be realistic, right? So you've got 200, I'm sure you can get a phone, a good phone that is worth 200K, yeah, in Computer Village. I'm sure that. So what is the first department that is going to be involved? Assuming you've got that and you enter a particular office to get that phone, maybe perhaps slot. You know slot now?
Yes.
Aha. So maybe perhaps slot, right? So yeah, slot. So what department is going to be involved first? Which department is going to be involved first? So you
What's
want to buy a phone, right? So which department is going to be involved first? That is what 200K. What's the first department?
okay? It's going to be the first department will be okay. You've made the order already, right?
No, you have your money with you. You enter
You have your
into the
money.
shop. Yeah.
Okay. You have your money, then you enter into the shop and you
Yeah.
make an order first. You
Order
make an order
from where?
from
Which?
the sales department.
Uh-huh. That's the first department that is going to be involved in the sales. Yeah. So next. So
Then
what's the
this
next department?
that
Followed
is
by,
store representative or the storekeeper check if they have it in stock.
yeah, yeah. So we
Then
can
once
say,
once the order is being confirmed,
yeah.
is that's
So the second department can be what? Procurement department. Abi?
procurement is coming purchasing and sales. Okay. But yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, MM,
Mm-hmm.
right? The next is going to be what? MM. That's the procurement, right? So followed by
FI.
FI. So the next department is going to be FI. Uh-huh. That's the finance department.
Yes.
Yeah. Followed by, that's all.
That's
That's all. That's all. Once you make your payment,
payment
you
is being
collect.
made. Yeah.
Once you make your
You collect your
payments,
phone.
you already have your product, or they've rendered the services or the service they needed to render.
But what if the what's it called? that's procurement. I think procurement has done their job before
Yeah,
because they're the one that does the stocking, right?
yeah, absolutely. So sales will just go and confirm if they still have.
Okay, sales is going to confirm from that means procurement are the one in charge of the store, like storekeeper or
Yes,
store
yes,
representative.
yes, 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 yes,
Okay. Okay.
yes, 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 yes. Now imagine what you've just done now is you are thinking you have a SAP thinking now. We have a what? A SAP thinking. Now that's the way SAP thinks, right? So we have everything should be in order. Now imagine we now have a system. We are discussing these things physically, right? So now imagine we
Mm,
now have a system that does this thing automatically, right? So imagine we have a system that does this thing automatically. You know how it will make more sense. It's going to be faster, it's going to be real time, everybody will be fine. So this thing that we just discussed now, if you are to be human related, right? So we might use like
mm,
10, 20 minutes to serve one person, right? So go to the sales,
mhm.
make a order, go and check, come back, go to the finance department, okay, go and pay there. Now imagine we now have a system that does everything in real time. Oh, I see a phone I want to buy. Oh, fine. I go to that particular store. I got the phone. I just scan. Once I scan, the sales guy gives me the phone immediately. The finance is confirming on the spot. Stock is saying, oh, we now have -1 of that particular product immediately, right?
Mm.
Automatically saying, oh, this product is now -1. So assuming we've got like 20 and you've sold 15. So it means we have five. Everybody sees we already have five. right? Automatically, right? So everybody knows, oh, we have a low stock of this particular product. We need to go order more. So that is where the guys come into play by making sure
Mm.
they get the right approval to go purchase or get more things. Are we together?
Mm. Yes.
Aha. So that is a SAP thinking. We're already building a SAP thinking right now, right? So which means this really explains what we did during the last class, right? Very well. And this session, so next section. So can I erase all this? Because if I move to the next slide, everything will be
Yes.
erased now. Yeah. Can I erase this?
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. So we've done this, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this. So we've done this. So we've done this, right? So this is the other delivery invoice payment that I told you earlier. You can imagine how everything works in hand. I think I might want to send you this, right? Which I think is very, very, right? What did you say?
Mm.
This slide, right? Maybe you
Okay.
might want to have it. Yeah. So so I think we are good to go based on what we've done, right? So the our next thing is just for us to see how SAP works. That's the SAP architecture, right?
Mm.
How it works. So these are things that we really want to discuss right now. So SAP architecture is very simple, right? It uses three-layer structure. Please note. Let me write down. Where is this? Okay. SAP architecture, which is what we are trying to display right now, uses three-layer structure. So we have the presentation layer. Mhm. We have the presentation layer. We have the application layer, and we have the
Mhm.
database layer. Can you see the database is the HANA now? Aha, what in here, man? So the presentation layer, what does it really mean? Right?
Application.
Presentation layer is talking about, let me just write it here. I'm thinking maybe I should do something else. Presentation layer, right? So is what you see, is what the user sees. That's the presentation layer, right? What the user sees is the presentation layer. The application layer is the business logic.
Okay.
Business logic of what we did earlier. Okay, what's the first process? Followed by what? Followed by what? Followed by what? Right? Okay, what are those documents I need to generate? I'm generating the invoice, I'm generating the sales document, I'm generating the order document, I'm generating the financial details, I'm generating what we've done for the week, I'm generating if you have made profit or not, I'm generating P&L, that's profit and loss, I'm generating expenses that we've made during the week, right? Those are things, that's the business logic that is called the application layer, right?
Mm.
So the database layer, please note all these things. The database layer talks about where those data are stored.
Mm.
It's talking about where those data are stored, right? And that is why, like I said, initially we used to use an external data. right? And that is why S/4HANA is fast, right? It's fast. And why is it fast? Can you tell me why S/4HANA is fast?
And it has AI processor.
Nope, nope, nope. Why is it fast compared to every other
So it's up.
solutions? Because
It's
the
way.
data is stored in memory.
Our others not stored in memory.
No. Data, the S is called S/4HANA, which means the database is on the application itself. We are not going outside. We are not connecting this application to another application with network. We are not connecting them together. Then you don't have a server that connects both applications together. It means we have one system that has an inbuilt database. So it means everything I'm storing in the same system. So if I want to look for anything, I won't be thinking, server is down now. We can't get what we are looking for because Oracle server is down. Because where we host our database, their server is down.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Mm.
Aha. So the only thing is we are creating an inbuilt database and everybody is fine because
Mm.
the data is stored in memory. Right.
Okay.
So a very good example of this SAP architecture and what uses this SAP architecture is your ATM machine.
Mm.
Can you please tell me how the ATM machine works? We have the screen.
Mm-hmm.
The screen is what? The presentation layer.
Yes.
Is that not what you see?
Yes.
Right? Uh-huh.
The application.
The application layer is what? The bank
You having
rules.
the
Bank
having your card
rules
with ATM at the
saying
password.
you can't withdraw more than 20K at once, saying you can't withdraw more than 100K on your ATM card in a day, saying only 500 naira can be dispensed,
Mm.
saying once you are using a card that is not the bank's card, you can't withdraw more than 10,000 naira at once, saying
Mm.
we will deduct 65 naira on every ATM usage. Are you
Mm.
following me? Hope I'm
Yes.
not speaking uh big words,
No.
right? Those are the bank rules, right? That's the application layer. Are we together?
Yes.
Right? That makes sense. Right? So what's the next one? Is what? Your account balance.
The database.
Where will I get the account balance?
Database.
Why?
That's the bank database.
Yeah. Because my account balance is quite different from your account balance. So
Mm.
which means every card must be linked to a database,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this rule works perfectly for what we've been discussing, right? This rule works perfectly for what we've been discussing,
That's gonna be.
right? So, which I think is very, very important. So, we can start, we can continue for, let's see, the next slide. Okay, can I erase this?
Yes.
So, the next slide talks about the transactions and data. So I want to explain something. Every action in SAP is transactional, right? Every action in SAP is a transaction. Every action in SAP. So please note this. Every actions in SAP is a transaction. Please note that, right? Every action in SAP is a transaction, right? So once a transaction is initiated, right? Once the transaction is initiated or performed, two things happened. Data is saved. Once the transaction is initiated, two things happen. One, data is saved. Abi? Then two, reports are updated automatically. Reports are updated automatically. Please note all these things. Please note them very well. I'm trying as much as possible to make it visual, right? Just imagine
Mm.
it. Aha. I've spent more than $300 to getting that in, but I've not been, it just went. And the money is not refundable. So I've
Wow.
tried to make sure that I just make sure we get these things better, right? Aha. So please, like I said, every action in SAP is a transaction, right? So once a transaction is initiated, data is saved and reports are updated automatically, right? So rules to remember, right? We have a rule to remember, and this is it. The rules to remember is once a transaction is initiated, data is saved and reports are generated. All right. So once reports are generated, it means you've got business documents, right? What are the reports? The reports here are called what? Business documents. They are documents that needs to be known, right? So these are documents that we're going to be discussing during our next class. Do you have any question based on what we've discussed so far?
That's a question.
Do you have any question? Done so many.
So I want to ask something.
Yeah.
So the ARP, like it's being used within different departments, right?
What did
And
you say?
also, I said ARP
Yeah. Okay.
being used just to synchronize different department within a firm, right?
Yeah.
So what of if it's within, let me say, within HR now, but HR has different multiple users. And
Uh-huh.
for transparency or for follow-up or for update of records, the whole information will be sent to all the staff within HR. Do they
Okay.
need SAP? Do they need ARP too?
Yeah. Yeah. They need ERP, and that is why in SAP we have a department, we have a process or an application that is built solely for HR, right? So two things I want
Okay.
to explain. There is something we call role-based activities. So which means
Mm,
depending on your department, and that is what you are going to be giving authority on. So those
okay.
in sales departments cannot interfere with what is happening in HR department, right? Those in
Okay.
productions department cannot interfere with what is happening in the finance department. However, the system is synchronized in such a way that we can easily perform so many operations, right,
Okay.
at once that is linking to one another. For example, I have my ID number, my work ID number is linked to my account, is linked to HR, it's linked to
Mhm.
department I am. So if you need any information about myself, about how much I get, so HR does not need to go and meet finance to know my salary. The director, if you are the director of a company, you don't need to call the HR to ask about my productivity because HR updates these things regularly. We fill a form online and automatically is giving ourselves what is happening. And we have a supervisor that maintains that or makes sure that what we are putting there is real, right? So HR department needs to be in sync with what is happening in the ERP because those people you are managing are also working in different departments and you need to know them. So The director or the chairman of the company can just call you as the HR guy, right? And tell you, please give me every detail you know about Lekon Awe. So
Mm.
you can't just tell me that the only thing I know about him is when he came to our office, the day he resumed, and all the credential is submitted. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know the department he is. I want to know the amount he's collecting. I want to know how he's faring. I want to know the type, the last report the supervisor gave about him. I want to know so many things about him. And all these things are tracked in different departments. I want to know the number of sales he has made. Can HR know that without being synced with the ERP system? Assuming I'm in the sales department and marketing department. And the chairman is asking you because we are the next in hierarchy, in organogram of the office. After the orga, the chairman, the director, the next person in line is finance guy. After the finance guy is HR. HR is not even reporting to finance. HR and finance are reporting directly to Oga. So they are on the same level. So which means Oga can easily ask about you, about me from you as the HR guy. Do you understand? And in your
Mm.
normal HR, you are not, you don't want to know how much I'm making for the company in terms of how much sales have I made. The only person that can get it done for you is guys in sales. So my record in sales will tell you how much I've made for the company. What is my
Mm.
progress? Okay, in bank, guys in marketing, guys, those in marketing, right? The number of deposit they brings into the office shows how well they are working. They don't want to know. Some people, especially I know some people, they will just sit somewhere, they will leave the office, sit somewhere, and they'll be making calls. Most times females, they will just be making calls to all these big men, big men, and they give them deposits close to 150, 300, 400. Some people make close to 500, 1 billion a month as deposits. Why some people will still be working at task at the Lagos and they will even make up to 100,000 as deposit.
Mm.
Do you understand? But nobody is chasing them. Do you know why?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why? Do you have anybody calling them?
No.
Where are you? Do you know why? Because they have an ERP system that is working. Because they already
Mm-hmm.
know that if you bring a deposit, it will reflect in your name.
It reflects. Mm.
The HR already knows that, and they know where they will key in those things. They
Mm-hmm.
know the amount of accounts you are. The only thing they will just want to check is how many accounts are you managing, and what is the balance in those accounts that you are managing. Shikena, everybody has an account officer. You you have an account officer that manages your account in Nigeria because your money
Mm.
is not as big. That is why you don't know them. Imagine you just deposit 1 billion naira in your account, and the following day you remove like 700 million there. You will see they will call you
Mm.
immediately.
No.
The account officer will call you immediately. And that is when the account officer will start bringing that relationships with you. Like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, yeah. That is how it works, right? Which means my account officer knows the amount of money I have in my account. So these are things I believe we should work on very well and see how it works. So have I been able to answer your question better? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Any other question?
No, that should be all for now.
Okay. Thank you and have a wonderful day.